Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure and this is Transport Fever. We're back with more. I'd hardly be back with less. But in the last few episodes we've been focusing on passenger services in order to try and get to the point where we've got plenty of cash coming in order to bankroll the next objectives. Now, and as you can see from that metro liner just arriving at the station, some of them are getting a little older. And are likely to be due for replacement soon. We can live with that. That's okay. We'll get to that when we come to it. But today, not so much of the faffing around with passengers. No, sir. Look at this. This is fun. Oh, it's all happening. See, I couldn't time this stuff better if I tried, and I do. Okay, as mentioned, today we're not going to be playing with passengers. We're going to be playing... No, we're not going to be playing with ships. I mean, look at that age of these guys. They're ancient. But I wish they'd have some better pathfinding, no. No, we're not going to be playing with ships. We're not going to be playing with passengers. We are, however, going to be playing with goods. Now, I've mentioned this on numerous occasions, is that the previous goods lines that we ran... they had problems all over the show, so I want to get rid of those problems and create all new ones. In all seriousness, I want to get it right this time. Now, what we're going to do to start with, because this is a multi-phase plan dealing with goods up in this area, and I mentioned before that I could spend the entire series just hanging around this area and getting it right. And I certainly don't intend to do so. But okay, plan for part one is. We create a new goods station up here. We remove this second one. And the goods station up here will service Boston and Warren on one line, which is already laid. Indianapolis on another one that is already laid. And Flint on a third that is yet to be constructed. And that will just be food. Now, once I get that up and running to a reasonably high level, I may even look at expending? Yes, sure, why not? Something of a Freudian slip there. Expending my way out to cover Phoenix with food as well. If I wanted to cover any more than that with this one setup, I think I'd be hard-pressed to actually create enough food for that to work. So I will need another food plant elsewhere. But that's phase one, and we'll get part of the way through that over the next couple of episodes. The second stage will be to close down this stoneworks here and move it to there. We'll use this one instead, which is a little bit closer. And instead of the port here, we'll close that one down. We'll open a fresh one up here, serviced by the same station, and we'll deliver stone-based goods at the same time. Lots and lots to do. Now, I'm going to leave the game running for a little while, just purely so that I've got some cash coming in, because this is going to be expensive. Not as expensive as some of the things that I've done, but pricey nonetheless. First stage, get rid of this old line. It served its purpose quite nicely while we were making use of it, but now I think it's time we got up to something a little bit more straight line-ish. And I'm going to build this in a way that ensures that when the time comes to take into account this quarry here, this stoneworks, that we can do that immediately without any massive relaying of track. We'll need some, because obviously I'll need to put a station in there, but not a huge amount. Right. The pleasing sounds of the bulldozer. Yeah, get rid of that as well. Get rid of this and that and this. It's inevitable that I will miss a bit of road or a bit of track that I want to remove at some point here, but we'll get to it all. There we go. Right, how are we looking now? I want to take you back a little bit further. Now, this is going to work, and the reason I know it's going to work is because I've already done it. It takes a little while before it pays off in full, but takes a little while is one of my catchphrases. And you know, and the end result is actually pretty cool. We get to run some significantly sizable freight trains on using this method. I don't think that's going to work. I think the slope's going to tell it. Yeah, see, too much slope. I mean, and the reason you don't want to do this is because getting a straight line, as much as this one has decided to comply, almost decided to comply, is getting an actual straight bit of road can prove challenging. So the goal here will be to have a section of road out the front of the food processing plant here that also extends to the docks, so that when I put the station in, I can hit both, and nobody will complain. So hit both with a not quite, a bit further there, about there. There we go. That will do nicely. And a bit of kinky road at the end. Right, good. So, next, station, goods. Yeah, I'm not going to make that mistake today. Freight station, what do we need here? Do we want catenary? I'm going to say no, but I'm probably going to regret that later. And we're not going to mess around. We're going to go straight for a 320. Also, I think we're not going to mess around. We'll go straight for 4 tracks. Although I may well regret that. And the 8 is, I mean, 8's probably what I'm going to need at some point. Given the amount of stuff that I'm going to be shipping from here, cheaping out now is possibly not the best way to go. Let's have a look. Yes. Do we think this is a good plan? I mean, that's $1.5 million versus $500,000. I think we stick with $500,000. Now, can you get? Yeah, that's okay. So that's hitting the docks clean on, right? 462. One more price check, please. One more price. Yeah. So we're over £1 million there. Now, there's space enough to do it later. He said confidently. Yeah. Do we really want to do that? I think we probably do. But I don't want to spend £1 million now. I want to save the money, and we'll spend it later, because I'm not going to need all of that space immediately. So let's go with this one here. We could get it a little bit cheaper, but this one will do the job. Just triple check that it collides with the port, which it does, and we're in business. Okay, good. So the goal will be that these 2 lines here will be heading up in this direction. And we will skirt just to the left of the quarry there, and that will have we'll get a station on there a bit later. So the station itself will be probably a 1-track station. So and once you start talking 320 in terms of length, you do have to think it through a little bit more. See, and the easier thing to do would be to put it down here. Right, let's have a just since we're in the area, I'm going to have a look. Where would you put it? You'd put it there, I suppose, and then I mean, I could do this as a standalone track, maybe. I don't want to. That doesn't seem as much fun. That said, it is an efficient way to do it. Okay, no, that's what we'll do. We'll do it down there. All right, fine, good. Don't need to do it now because we're going the other way. Right, high speed we definitely do want. So, if track 1 is going to be the good station down there, we'll leave track 1 alone, and we'll start rolling tracks 2 and... Okay, that's track 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, get a numbering system that makes sense, man. Right, no, we don't need catenary. We're going to go all diesels for this jaunt. Is this what you want to do? Yes, it is what you want to do. Come on. All right, hold on. Do it in 2 parts. Do it in 2 parts. Let's go a bit like that. Right, and then like that. See, should work first time. Shouldn't be a problem. Everybody happy. No complaints. Excellent. Now, those are going to be dedicated routes, so I don't need crossovers or anything like that. This is 2 routes, straightforward as you like. Now, I've tried doing this with a single line running up in this direction, but you always end up with something, you know, one train or the other having a bit of a moment while it waits for the other to clear. Now, the other thing I want to do is I want to keep this flat as much as possible. So I'm going to let the game auto lump the track, which is always fatal. I mean, it ends up costing you more. But the plus side is that it maintains relatively smooth angles while you're building out. Okie doke. Right, next job is burn everything. Now, if I do this well, you know, I mean, firstly, that would make a change. But secondly, I shouldn't need to explode too many singular fields. Right, I want you going to straight. What are you trying to snap to there? Is there a bit of road hiding? Yeah, there is. Flipping dirt track hiding. No, you can get closer than that. That's a little bit closer, I suspect. Oh. Alright, well, how about let's take that angle. And that's about as close to that farm as you're going to get. Hook it around the corner. Too much curvature? No, there isn't. Why you insist on trying to delete too much? I don't need you to delete that much. Just you know... Tell you what, look, if I do this, right, I'm gonna fox you into doing this. What have you done here? Well, that's maddening. No, look, if I'm gonna have a stab at doing this well, then we'll apply some smoothing into the mix with the brand new smoothing tool, of which I notice very little different from the old one. I think the amount of effect has changed. Or so it was advertised, but I'm blowed if I could see what the difference is, and I smooth a lot. I mean, admittedly, you know, me and the tree gun are firm friends these days. You know, I'm still a devotee to the old smoothing for life, etc. Right, come on, look, do not fight me. Right, okay, that will do. Look, this is supposed to be the easy bit. Now, just... Alright, well, there's still a lump in there, but at least it's a smooth lump now. Good, right. And we only need that there, so it's probably connected up to the station and the rest of the infrastructure to stop people griping at me the entire time. Do a bit of that. Good. Right, now, station. Again, only need 1 track here. I'm not going to spend any more than I absolutely have to. But I am going to use, rather than using a terminal-based approach, I'm going to use not a terminal-based approach. See, that's pretty clear, isn't it? Now, how far away can I get while still in the catchment area? And the only reason I want to be further away is because it allows me to keep this track fairly level while still kind of cutting somewhat around the corner. There you go, that looks all right. Now, here comes the less cheap part. All right, let's get a quote and then see if we can do it better. All right, round onto there. 4.5 million. Now that, as it turns out, is pretty respectable. I can live with 4.5 million. I don't need it to go any faster. And the reason I don't need to go any faster is because the goods trains that I'm going to be using, they top out at about, well, between 130 and 160 kph. Sold. I'll take it. There we go. Right, look, we're almost there. Okay, that's maybe gilding some lilies going on there. But yeah, so we'll do the same as we did before, and we'll pick up both grain and livestock from the farm here. We'll hustle it down the road to our setup here. At which point we're going to unload on this side. This side will be a load up to go to Flint. Now, to start with, it's just going to be... we want to talk about food, but eventually it will also include stone and possibly fuel as well. So I'm going to need to do some, some fun stuff with train consists to make that work. Now, this one on the end here is currently unused, which is by design, because I want this to go up and do my Warren Boston run just like that. Now, the only thing I don't have here is a clever depot system. So I'm going to need a clever depot system over here that can feed into every track on this station, because for the main part, well, for the most part, every train that runs up and down here is going to do so. It's going to do so what exactly? Terrain alignment collision. I want to remove these cables. What are you colliding with my... That bridge is terrain alignment collisioned. Well, that bridge will not stand. Might as well get rid of that as well. Let's get rid of all of this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll probably end up laying it back in more or less exactly the same way in a moment, but look, I think we've committed. Hold on, you can't commit to that, because don't they get phased out later on? Aren't you just going to have to put this back in? Well, we've all enjoyed the endless electrification, de-electrification process that I've been going through so far, and it's going to continue. There we go. Now, I also need to lengthen this station a little bit. Not that it needs it. Through my experimentation, I have discovered that stations actually don't give a monkeys about length. They will still work even if the train is too long for the station. Yeah, I know. There's a thing. 240 should cover it. Let's make it high speed for those passing through. Do we want a second street connection? I don't really think it's necessary. Right, there we go. Answered all my own questions. Right. Too much slope and too much curve. You wouldn't have thought so, would you? But, we try to keep everybody happy if at all possible. There you go. How do you feel about that? You can figure out your own curvy slope problems for yourself. Nicely, nicely. And then we'll do the other side as well, which is obviously going to fight me because there's a road going through there. Sorry, car. No. Train goes first. Just ever such a small kink going on there. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Right, and then we'll go from there over the track to there. Too much slope. Where? Where exactly are you claiming there is too much slope? I have seen you deal with worse. Maybe I'm trying to do too much at once. No buildings need to be removed. I can assure you of that. Construction is not possible. Construction is possible. Construction not only is possible, but it's happened. There we go. See, where's your too much slope complaints now? Non-existent, that's where they are. Honestly, fussy individual. Can we do anything with these? We can change them for these deadly crossing types. I don't think we'll do that. Right, okay, so we then proceed round. Everything else should be set up. I know I mucked about with the arrival in Boston not so long ago. So there we go. That's number one. There's a lot of smoothing about to happen in this area, but I think I'll probably wait until I've got everything laid in on a track basis. So here we go. We can use platform 4 as we look at it now. Well, no, it would be platform 1 as you look at it now, wouldn't it? It's platform 4 as you named it earlier. Now, I'm going on the assumption that what I'll do here is I'll have, and this is incredibly lazy, but it works. We can probably do that without having to spend quite so much. All right, pull that down here and then connect on. No, pull that to there. That's where you don't have to spend so much, and then do that. There you are. What was I saying? I was saying something. Oh yeah. While testing this out, I had trains basically queuing to come in and use the platforms, and it worked. It was fine. It was okay. But It is, you know, I don't really want to leave anybody waiting unless I absolutely have to. So for that reason, and since I've got the platforms available, and because lots of platforms is cool, I'm going, what have you got for me? Anything I want? It's the speed dance, otherwise known as a really top way to empty your bank account. Where are we going with this? Do we need to connect it up to it? We do need to connect it up to the quarry here. Yeah, just to keep them from griping any more than they absolutely have to. I want upgrade. No, I want magic wand. Okay, why track uses... Oh, no. Yeah, it does. Look, when you upgrade rail track, right, you use the spanner thing to make it high speed, which is the same as making it high width, surely, rather than having a separate magic wand item. So, you know, I'm vindicated at my, you know, inability to find the right thing. I don't need that now. I just need this. I'm going to stick it onto there. There we are. Right. What else are you complaining about? Oh, you're complaining about everything. Well, you'll get over it, or you won't. I do need to run... Oh, yeah, I need to run some kind of road up there as well. And I need to put that back in, because it was quite a nice... In fact, it was quite an aggressive bridge. Let's not muck about. Oh, that's brush strength. Oh, interesting. So it's now brush strength rather than brush size, right? So it is. Okay. Well, where does one adjust brush size? Maybe you don't anymore. Oh, but how am I going to do all those fiddly bits badly? Equally, if I had a larger brush going at this, we'd be motoring through it in no time at all. Instead of this gradual evening out of the lump in the middle. I want both. I mean, you know, call me fussy if you like, but, you know, while I appreciate a brush strength button, I would rather have both. Strength and size. There we are. That looks diabolical. I'll put some trees on it in a minute, and that'll make it all look fine. Also, let's get rid of this. So to see if we can make this look nice and tidy. I have some country road. Now, where am I going to connect to? I think if we head over for that junction there, which is where it was before. Also, if I stick an in-town road, I see. Yeah, now you're thinking. Right, we'll stick an in-town road that goes round here, and we'll try and hurdle the lot. Right, we'll see how we get on with that. Give me, yeah. Let's not muck about. Let's try a large street. Right, here we go. It would have been nice to get that one, but this one will do. I mean, that is quite an aggressive corner, and it's got a bit of a jump in it, and that could have been neater, but that will be because of the smoothing escapades we just got up to. So, you know, once again, I suspect trees may be our saviour on this front. Gotta love a conifer. Yeah, I love how they're free as well. Free trees. You know, this is a development team that know what the people want. Now, come on, just a few more in. We're concealing the crime. Can you get one in there? It'd be good if you could. No? Can't be bothered? Alright, fine. And then let's just, you know, make it look like nature's happening. Look, everybody, nature's happening. The Black Pearl has reached its lifetime. Okay, well, I should set that up. In fact, I'll put that as on my to-do lists of things that aren't that exciting that I can do while we're twixt episode. And that's not the type of road you wanted on there. And what have you done now? You're trying to build another bit of road. You could get some precision in your clicking, man. There we go. That's better. Now, stop magic wanding it and just get it placed. Now, there's a high chance I'm never going to use this road. not for my own purposes. You know, the game probably will. It'll probably, you know, send some people down there and go, oh, look, see how we now have connectivity to all of those joyous places we wanted to connect to. Before we do that, yeah, let's... right, here we go. You're going to like this. Maybe. I'm going to have to update it later as well, and that's going to get exciting. Right, large country road. I want to go like that, over all of that, right, and then up and away. Although, how weird does it look? Oh no, that's a big gully. There we go. All right, yep, we'll take that. Right, no. See, you almost had it. What I want is just kind of an S-curve here, like that. There we go, and then we will do something similar. I'm going to make these guys take an incredibly convoluted route, because I'm an incredibly convoluted person. Oh, look at that. It's complaining about colliding before I'm even halfway there. Well, that's evidently not going to play ball without switching to a smaller type of road. Okay. And we'll go like that, and then we'll do this into there. Now, I mean, this is largely superfluous, of course. I could just leave this the hell alone, but you know, it's a case of just. I mean, firstly, we want to stop these chaps complaining too heavily. Although, if they're going to complain about the amount of time it takes them to get somewhere, I don't care, frankly. Pembroke Pines can't get to its far more oil refinery. Boo hoo hoo. Right. Okay. So we've got what we've got. Let's do a recapette here. We've got our farm running down here. Drop off. Things happen where livestock and wheat are mashed together and turned into food here. Amazing. That is then transported in exactly the same routes we did before. The only real change this time around is going to be adding Flint into the mix, so that Flint's food deliveries no longer come by road. Instead, they come by rail, and we'll put a station in here somewhere, and then use truck delivery to stick it in the right place. And we're going to get to that next time around. That's right. Yes, some actual episode-length discipline is happening up in here, and it's happening right now. So thank you very much for watching today. I've been Colonel Failure. Yes, something of a lack of trains going on. There, let's have a close-up of some track. But trust me, trains will be occurring next time around. We will be investing quite heavily in some significantly expensive beasts. So do ensure that you tune in for that and subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on it. Thanks for watching today. I'll catch up with you very soon. Cheerio.